Hey, welcome back to the Cornet, and this is the final part to the 4,000 mile duct tape drags road trip. I'm recording this about 5 months after the duct tape drags things, so I will go out and say that my metrics might be a little bit off. I only have two for sure numbers, um, and I'm going to add them on the fly. Uh, give you a rough estimate on how much this whole trip cost, and then my thoughts about the whole trip now that it's been a little while and I've been able to think about like all sorts of stuff. So let's start off with the cost. The three metrics that I know for sure are gas, my accommodations, and the U-Haul. So gas was a lot cheaper than I thought. It was just shy of $880. It's like 879 and change. So let's just call it $880. That's a lot less than I thought I was going to spend. I had budgeted for about $1,100 in fuel. My truck got way better fuel economy than I thought, and gas was a lot cheaper the more we went down south. So we filled up as much as we could down south to save our asses later. The second was our accommodations. Our accommodations were $342. Um, we decided to stay at an Airbnb because originally we had thought we were going to have six of us, when in reality we ended up only having four that ended up staying with us at the same time. My father and grandpa did come, but they came at a later time, so they got their own accommodations. They stayed in the hotel and did not stay with us, my group of friends. Um, So that was how much that was. The U-Haul was 125 flat rate because I had to use it over multiple days. I was going to end up having it for a total, I think, of 6 days. Um, and that was how much that cost. So right there, we're looking at about $1,300, which was a lot less than I thought I was going to end up spending, but that's just how much it was. Um, and I didn't rent the U-Haul. I should mention this. Normally, when you rent a U-Haul for that long, it's a lot more money. I didn't rent the U-Haul from a actual U-Haul dealer. I rented it from a guy who had a U-Haul trailer, and that's how much it cost. So that was, if you try and do this, it might be more expensive. Um, I think the last time I checked, renting U-Haul for 8 days is around $300 to $400. Um, and there are certainly definitely cheaper places to rent trailers to haul things. There's also cheaper ways to haul things, such as dollies and stuff. But when you're going that far, you really don't want to use a dolly, and you want to have a trailer that you know is going to have a warranty, which mine did not. But I, I didn't. Thankfully, I didn't have any issues. But um, you want to be as safe as possible because towing things can be a mess if anything goes wrong with the trailer. There goes the trailer and the car. So it's important to factor that in. I have written down here that my rough estimate for food, because I for 4 of the 6 days I was gone, it was just two of us. So food was hard to calculate, but based on my card statements and my rough estimate on how much I spent on cash, it was about $250 in food. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but we really cheaped out on food. I mean, we skipped meals, we brought snacks with us. We were trying to keep it as budget conscious as possible. Um, but then there was the miscellaneous, which is hard to calculate because after the fact, I sold a lot of the stuffs that we decided to get while we were there and recouped a lot of that cost. But it was around another it was around another 250 to 300 bucks that I lost, but I spent I spent around $2,000 in total. I recouped that cost by selling a lot of the stuff that I had bought on that trip, stuff that I used one time and then, I don't need to use it the rest of the time. So I recouped a lot of costs there. So by my best guess, I spent around $1,800 on this 4,000-mile road trip. Now that is personally what I spent. Um, it all depends on the vehicle you're towing with, how many miles per gallon it's going to get. Depends on how much you spend on a trailer, how much you spend on accommodations, how many people are going. Because I could have saved a lot of money if it was just me. I could have just brought meals with me. I could have slept in the truck at the track. Um, I could have saved a lot of money, and but it's not as fun going alone. So I was very fortunate to have, as mentioned in my previous videos, I was very fortunate to have my friend Braden go with me literally a week and a half before the event was supposed to happen, traveling cross country. Very fortunate to have him go with me. And of course, I can't forget Zach and Caitlin as well on that trip. They were a huge help, not only paying for the ticket for the event, it was a gift for my birthday to be able to go to this event. But they only paid for the ticket part of it, the trip and stuff like that. That was all me. Um, but I was very fortunate to have them there. Not only did Caitlin cook and make some awesome meals for us, but she also made sure we were well hydrated and recorded a lot. And I don't know how the trip would have gone without her there as well. And of course, Zach as well, being the one that actually paid for the ticket. Um, I I don't know if I would have spiraled down this avenue of wanting to go if the ticket was not purchased for me in the first place. I don't think I probably wouldn't have driven so hard if I didn't have it already. Um, Now, that being said, and I had mentioned this on a forum actually today about how I'm trying to upgrade the car and stay within a budget. And I mentioned that I had gone on this trip, and I got a little bit of flack because I spent so much on this trip, but it's about half the budget I'm trying to save for the um, upgrades for the car. Um, I guess the one argue that I have, the one rebuttal I have for that is that you know I it's a lot more worthwhile to me to be able to go on a vacation with people that I enjoy being around and doing something that, well, now we don't certainly know that is going to happen again. Um, it's a little difficult to go and be like, well, there's no show, there's no, I mean, it's all on YouTube. We're uncertain right now. Freiberger specifically, he's the one that runs this event, not the Motor Trend TV. Freiberger runs this event. He's mentioned that he still wants to do this event. I'm hoping that it continues. I'm hoping it's around the same time as always. And I'm hoping I can make it again this year because I very much would love to come back and be faster than last time. But I guess going back to the event, um, my personal thoughts. I think that uh, it. My only gripe with it is I think that it should be better explained prior to going. Uh, sure, it was naive of me not to ask questions about people who had been there and things like that. But as stated in my last video, that first day, it would have been nice to know that I would have been waiting for hours um, to start drag racing. I didn't really know that till about hour 2 or 3 of me waiting. I didn't know we were waiting that long for the stuff. That was the only gripe I had. I mean, I had a great time otherwise. I mean, good times, good people. I got to meet all sorts of people from all over the well, mostly the west side of the country, but all sorts of people from all over the country. Because there were people from the east side, there was people from the west side, and lots of familiar faces: Freiberger, Dulcich, Tony Angelo, Steve Brule was there, Lucky Costa, all sorts of people that you've seen. Oh, Derek Bieri, another really familiar face. Um, and it was just awesome. I mean, if you have the means to go, I can highly recommend it if it continues to be a thing. Um, but I guess to wrap up this video and wrap up this little mini series that I've taken so long to put together, um, I should go for my plans moving forward in more detail. I did mention in my channel update video about how I was wanted to be able to put together some sort of plan going forward. But my plan right now, there are two things I want to do. I want to record a video of me doing a low buck, like, you know, college kid budget, no dollar, 440, extremely low performance build. Um, I want to do a video on that. Then I want to do a video on the A833 rebuild, and then I want to do one of the rear end upgrades, such as the center section, upgrading that to a higher rear gear ratio or lower rear gear. I don't know. The number gets bigger, So I'd be going from a 323 to either 391 or 410, just to give me a little more oomph and improve my quarter mile time, because the RPM range of the 440 will get upped with this rebuild. So I plan it. That's one section of videos that I'd like to do. The other section of videos I'd like to do is another car. I plan on getting another, hopefully, Mopar. I've had my eyes on a couple convertible 67 through 71 Plymouth Furies. All 318 cars, pig slow, but I just want something that I can hop in, flick the key, quiet exhaust, and just go. I don't need the 383 or the 440 or the 400 or 361. I don't need a big block for that car. I just want something that I can flick the key and just cruise. And it doesn't have to go 100 miles an hour. Hell, it doesn't even have to go 80 miles an hour. I'd like to go 70, but, that's not even mandatory. But I just want something that I can cruise. And the convertible part of it is just because I had an awesome experience last summer with my buddies. 65 Ford Galaxy convertible. It was a 289, 3 on the tree, dog slow, but it was just a cruiser. I mean, you hopped in it, you flicked the key, it ran cool, and it just cruised. So that's kind of what I want to do in the future. I'm keeping my eyes peeled for vehicles of that nature. If you have a vehicle of that nature and are trying to sell it cheap, I'm not trying to buy a nice one. I'm trying to buy something, kind of dog water, pretty bad, but I just need it to run, drive, and stop. I don't care if it has stop sign sized holes in the floor. I don't care if the top is shit. I'm never going to have it up. I don't even care if it has a top. I just want it to be a convertible. If that's something you have and are trying to sell it for under $2,500, let me know. Obviously, if I post another video and I've already got a car, then this whole statement is negated, but that's what I'm looking for right now primarily. Uh, Same goes for a Chrysler or Dodge of the similar. I'd like to stay in that category of Mopars because that's what I'm familiar with, and I genuinely enjoy the small block Mopar um, platform. I put 5 of them in that Cornet, so love. I'm just familiar with those. Um, but I'm getting off on a little bit of a ramble here, and this doesn't have as much to do with the 4,000-mile road trip. But thank you for watching to the very end. If you can like, subscribe, comment, and share it with your friends, I greatly appreciate it. And I will see you next time on the Cornet.